Welcome back to my channel, Aquarius. Much love and thanks out to my existing subscribers and all those that are new to my channel. I always appreciate your support and your time, so thank you for being here. Sorry. Just a quick reminder, these are general readings, can't speak to all. Please allow some flexibility on the time frames. Everything won't necessarily resonate for you this month, but please check back in the coming months as energy is always changing. So this is a reading again, as I mentioned, for April for Aquarius 2021. It's covering both general aspects as well as career, money, finance, which I usually do toward the end of the reading. Okay, so I'll be using the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor, Cosmos Tarot by Norbert, I believe the name is Losh, toward the end, and that's regarding more specifically to the finance career aspect. And that's just for more detail and clarity. And I'll also be using the Steampunk Tarot by John and Caitlin Matthews and the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. Okay, so this month there seems to be a lot of protection coming in from, or guidance from your angels, and that speaks to me that there are some significant changes on the horizon here. I did feel that there was also a lot of healing that's coming through for the month of April because you're going through a period of transition. So there are cards that, further out in the decks that really speak to you standing up for yourself and expressing yourself. So for some of you, that's going to mean that, you're being challenged, and I feel that you're having to sort of speak your truth, get clear on some things, maybe deal with some issues. And for others, it feels that you're just being too, I don't want to say wishy-washy, but maybe just too restrained, not delving deep enough with your emotions to be able to resolve issues. You're staying more on the surface, trying to be too neutral. But either way, there's more of a feeling of needing to be maybe more creative in the way that you're expressing yourself, or just overtly speaking and clarifying and your truth, and becoming a little closer to your authentic, your truth, you're needing to express more of yourself or put more of yourself into a situation. So, okay, so we're starting out with Archangel Ariel. This is a card of creativity and self-expression. So pretty much what I've just stated there. So there's going to be some unexplored energy here in some area where you're neglecting to go deeper. Things that you're avoiding, whether that's emotional or in a creative space, putting off an idea, you're not really, I just feel like you're staying too close to surface and not getting close enough to your true self to make something spark. As with a creative space, getting an idea, I just don't feel like you're staying with the idea or something long enough for you to be able to feel like you're connected to it. So either way, for those where it's work related, it could also be along the lines of procrastination. For those that are emotionally disconnecting, it just feels like you're just keeping things more surface rather than going deeper and connecting to something, so that you're not really feeling, your greater potential, or you're not able to develop that potential to, to a level which will allow enough growth. Okay, so it's your call. And the reason why I say that is because it's followed by indecision. So, again, it's your call. With that card of indecision, you can either stand still and the universe will bring in a tower moment eventually to move you, or you can avoid emotional conflict or find a deeper level of intimacy and then continue to grow. So either way, too much indecision is self-sabotage, and it just makes you bounce back and forth between, the energy, the highs and the lows. The should be doing, could be acting on, wanting to be working on something, but instead you're just sitting on the fence, or you're feeling stuck and you're resisting growth. So choosing doesn't mean that you're not reflecting, and it doesn't mean that you're, I feel that it could be more analysis paralysis kind of thinking. But either way, you need to give consideration to your issues and stay with it long enough so that you get a little bit of insight, so that you know which way that you want to go with it, rather than avoiding it altogether. But it does mean figuring out the importance of the action that you need to take in the ways that you desire to grow. So what do you value, or what do you value in the moment? The path of growth leads to responsibility and commitment to yourself and those around you, those that you value in your life. But then there is freedom. So, you want to create the intention, implement the plan, create some structure around your action, really set some tone to make the decision easier for yourself. Because when you can put pen to paper, weigh out the pros and cons, simplify things, take the anxiety out of the equation, and just make it about, more factual details that are right visibly in front of you, sometimes it's a lot easier to make sense of what you're really trying to decide between, because your values are, when you're more authentic in your decision making, you're being true to your values, and values will change over time. But at this moment, when you're making a decision, you make a decision based on, obviously the material that you have to work with in this moment. You can't possibly see behind all the doors, so you can only work with, half the information. So next card out is Archangel Metatron. Really speaks to getting clear on your personal vision. What kind of experiences do you want in your life? Can you see enough of the way forward to get a glimpse of what the things around you can bring in for you? There's the immediate, and then there's that future goal. So you want to lay it out, your experience, and put that into actions that grow you in the areas that you want to further yourself. So there looks to be a lot of confusion and backstepping here in the month of April that really requires you to take an interest in yourself and your goals, your dreams, your desires, and align yourself with the person you desire to be. So if you see yourself in a committed relationship, then you need to show more commitment. If you see yourself in a work situation that is lacking, what's within your control to change that. So plan a few steps of action. Don't wait for the phone to ring. You need to clear away some of the clouds this month and really look at what's available to you right now that you can work with. There was actually a quote off The Big Bang Theory that sort of came to mind that spoke to me for this reading. It's I can't remember who said it, but I think it was Leonard. Anyway, he said, "Our lives are just acting out a painting on the largest canvas in the universe." Our lives are just acting out a painting on the largest canvas in the universe. So sometimes we take things too serious when we make our decisions, thinking that it's all set in stone and it can't be changed. And that just puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on the situation. But in actual fact, sorry, my throat always goes in these readings. In actual fact, everything changes, and decisions, can link together, and they often do, even though we don't really see the associations, but they often do link together. And that's because it's leading from our values and our heart space. So intuitively, we know we're kind of making a decision based on those things. Certainly better to bring it to the forefront and be more, in touch with it. But a lot of times we don't really see how it all connects. So, just in making a decision, look at the immediate things around you that can support that. Just, you want to be true and appreciative when you act from authenticity. And even when things go awry, or go awry, there's still some kind of a gain that you don't necessarily see that actually helps you to sort out your next step forward into that next level of growth and achievement. So be aware of that. There was also another quote that came to mind. Jackson Pollock, another painter, also said, "I have no fear of making changes, destroying the image, etc., because the painting has a life of its own." And I think that's really important to remember. Sometimes just when you get into the flow of things, you don't necessarily see where things are going, but you're developing yourself as you go through the changes and the obstacles, etc. So you just have to have enough force to pull yourself out of a position of inertia or being stuck, and enough push to push yourself forward to a space where there's more room to grow. Because when you're in that space, then you'll feel much lighter, much freer, and going forward. So there could be someone also coming in here with the woman holding a coin. So again, someone coming in here of wealth or has a wealth of expertise, somebody who's an authority in some area that could be, business, or just someone who has a lot of information that might be useful to you in terms of a relationship, because relationships are also very significant this month for you. So again, you could be just dealing with someone who can be of assistance in some way, likely a woman in business that you're dealing with, or somebody who's a confidant, close friend, but somebody who seems to have a really good sense of themselves. So spring really came through quite a bit in this reading as well. Spring and summer repeated through the cards. So we've also got blossoming abundance. So again, this spring really looks to be a period where things are blossoming with abundance. So again, I feel this is where your start is. But I feel by summer, you're really going to see kind of the fruits of your labor, or have something really more material, more tangible, for you to really see that you're going in the right direction. And there's lots of energy coming through, lots of wands in this reading as well. So I feel that you have a lot of drive and a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of passion and energy behind something you're really trying to invest yourself in. And again, whether that's on the emotional front in terms of a relationship or in terms of business, because these are more general energies here in this part of the reading. So, but again, either way, something coming through this month or further into May for some of you, because the times are going to be a little more flexible because you're all at different stages of your life. So, again, it just feels like something is coming in for you that really brings you a sense that you're valued in this month. More specifically, April, I feel, is where you're getting this sense of value. I don't feel it's necessarily monetarily coming through, even though there are some cards that come through that also suggest more of this abundance. But maybe toward the end of the month, there might be something that is more tangible in that way for a group of you. But for the majority that I'm feeling here, it seems to be more it's coming through in a different way, and I feel that the monies will be further out. But either way, it doesn't necessarily feel like financial gain for the most part, on the whole, just because of the other cards that I'd pulled. But I do feel it can be a secondary element. So again, maybe there might be trickles of the money that's coming through, but I don't feel until I feel like it's summer that you're really going to see something change there. So again, doesn't feel like financial gain for the most part, although this may be a secondary element. I don't feel it's the predominant reason that you find value this month. I feel that you're finding value and happiness in, more of a job well done, satisfying conclusion, decision that you're making, something that comes up for you as an opportunity, things like that are going to bring you some real door to happiness, which happens to be the next card here, door to personal healing and happiness. So it does seem that it's following appropriately. But I feel there's going to be some positive movement and progress for some in relationships, emotionally, and for others, this will resonate more along the lines of an optimistic change internally. But not only is it internal, it's actually now being reflected in your surroundings in some way. So it could be, again, a new opportunity that's coming in with this card. For others, that could be a change of residence. Just something new that's coming in that shifts your mindset to something brighter. So a lot of you may be committing to a job offer, deepening a partnership, might even be representing a marriage or a level of change within your relationship, like moving in together, something that just seems more formal here with the contract card following up. Something, as I said, that there's real potential with, this is a change that you're making in this month. So there's many cards of you speaking up and expressing yourself this month as well. And that follows up with Archangel Gabriel. So that represents all of that same energy. It just feels like many of you are holding yourself back in some way emotionally. And again, maybe it's just in terms of the work front where you're not sharing your ideas, you're not interjecting, where you feel you could say something or contribute something, or indicate that something could be done differently. Overall, it just feels like maybe you're just too agreeable on a more general level. I'm not saying be a troublemaker here. I'm just saying that, there is that way to present something, present your position, while stating it more factually with a less challenging confrontational tone. So don't be afraid to, draw attention to yourself, because that's where the collaboration and the discussion, needs to be put on the table so that you're actually able to um, explore some of the options with the ideas that do come up. So just up for yourself, direct the conversation in a way that there's a reciprocated communication in what the cards seem to be saying here. So with appreciation, much of the same thing. I feel like you're worried about challenging the status quo in some way, but remember, your relationships need to grow. Your work situations, might need to have more challenge, more interesting, things happen in that sphere. However you're being impacted, maybe your creative projects need to be more interesting to you, more inspired. Maybe you're stuck because you're, at a bit of a gridlock on some level, um, but either way, it just feels that you need to allow yourself to open up more into these spaces, like contribute more of yourself into whatever it is that you're working on. So really find some new depths emotionally, connect to whatever it is that you're trying to grow. Discover your own mysteries is what I'm saying here. See what you're really made of, because this will make your experiences richer and life more meaningful. So when you look back, knowing that you allowed yourself to grow in these different directions, it actually feels as, it'll be a very impactful memory. It'll be a very strong memory because you really invested a good part of yourself. You just didn't go through the motions. So this is about appreciating some of those difficult changes as well that you have to make within yourself to get to these places. So also, if there's any issues around family or those that are close to you, people that you care about or relationships, love interest, that kind of thing, this, as I said, I felt was a healing month for that. So there could be a tone of some tempers or emotions um, that flare up because there's so many wands. I didn't see a lot in terms of, swords, that kind of thing, but there's definitely a lot of drive, a lot of kind of defensive energy. So the wands to me in this situation for you is really passionate, drive, determination, but it also comes with, the other aspect of tempers flaring, not some people may not be willing to be supportive in the early part of April here, but I think as time toward the end of April, you'll see that people start to come around and really get behind you and your ideas. So um, there's definitely some air of change, a lot of fives coming through in this reading. So there is a need for you to shift your perspective as well with adjacent possibilities. So again, shifting your perspective, losing any rigid ideas about how things would or should be, because it'll be more helpful to you this month if you're able to be a little more flexible, because it'll help you, remove yourself from any stuck uh, patterns or habitual behaviors or force of habits, anything that's limiting your potential here. You're just being asked to try a different door this month. Open up to something new, something you haven't considered before. Learn to be more flexible in the way that you approach something, because there's some area of your life here, maybe on a few fronts, that you seem to be more rigid with, or seeing it in a way that you feel it needs to look before you maybe take action. But whatever that means to you, whatever area of your life you're more rigid with, needs to be looked at differently. So we also have the angel of balance. So this would indicate to me some level of chaotic energy. So it's also a place where you're uncomfortable in some area of your life where things didn't seem balanced and you're unable to move in a particular direction, just because you're sort of frozen with fears or anxiety, or um, just unclear on the energy about where to move yourself next. So this is likely where you fell into being more closed off, less flexible with your actions, or maybe just your thinking, as I said, behaviors, however that relates for you. But it's draining to push yourself, through things like this. It's much easier to go with the flow, and the balance will restore once you shift your mindset to see that things can still be achieved even when you go beyond your usual frame of reference. So you should start to feel more centered and grounded this month once you're able to let down your guard or your idea of how things should look, and whether that means that you need to negotiate, compromise, or overall share those depths of your positive emotions or ideas within your circle. That would help to, I think, to open up some options for you anyway, or at least get some of the issues on the table. So you can still present negative things or things that you're not, sure of, but just it's the way that you frame it that puts people on the defense or, does not. It's up to you. And you don't have to deal with every issue all at one time. Sometimes it's just better to let people sit with whatever it is that you put on the table and then go back to it. But either way, there's some kind of change that's required here, because we've got the 5, and this comes through on a few cards here. So this is the card of emotional loss. So some of you might be healing from something here, emotionally letting go or releasing baggage, or the loss of something that you were once attached to. Either way, whatever that pain was that you've been carrying around, just know that you're in the process of releasing this in favor of seeing something in a new way or starting something new altogether. Because there seems to be a lot of energy around emotions for the month of April. So I feel that many of you, have your relationships at the forefront. So the next card out is the heart chakra. And that as well is, speaking to the same, you need to learn to better communicate how it is that you're feeling, or communicate your ideas, or expressing more of yourself in some way. And again, whether that's emotionally in a relationship or in a creative space, but just delve into the depths of your core emotions and really activate them in some way, because this will bring about the balance that you're seeking. And it'll help you to feel more connected to whatever it is that you're involving yourself with, or that you want to grow as well and make changes. So you are coming to some end of a cycle this month with the universe card. This is beginning of a new phase, new chapter, new outlook this month. But there's wisdom gained here, and maybe some painful truths that have been revealed to you. But you're traveling in a direction where things are going to bring you a sense of liberation, of having overcome something, met the challenge, gained the insight. You're feeling a lot more inspired this month, and you're very close to rewards. So whatever that reward holds, for you, whatever you consider most valuable is very close within reach. And certainly universe is spirit looking out for you. And there's so many cards of spirit being with you, because you're going through some real deep changes here in the month of April. The fact that there's some 9s that come in here and some 10s, certainly some closures with universe and all of that. There's probably going to be some residual energy into May. I don't know that you'll all be able to complete this cycle in the month of April, but certainly you're just at the precipice here. Okay, so prosperity begins. So again, it didn't feel like monetary rewards, even though there's quite a few cards here that come up with prosperity. I'm not saying that there's not monies that are coming in this month, but anything substantial to me didn't really feel like that was coming through. But it does look like some kind of new business is in the works for some of you. Early phases with all the planting of the seeds energy here. Could be a new job offer for others, to a new take on existing relationships, where that relates. Building things to a new passionate space, in terms of a passion project. But it just could be a couple in business as well, as I see, the financial and material changes card is also followed by, or close in connection here with, the prosperity begins card. So again, to me, it looks like, and again, we've got a few 5s here. So could be a couple in business, but it definitely feels like there's financial transactions, material prosperity, things that it feels like a shared resource. That's what I'm getting at. Shared resource where maybe somebody's coming in to connect with you on that level where they're offering, putting in some money, you're putting in some money, something like that. But we're still seeing again the fives. So the fact that I'm going to say there's two fives in relation to the financial aspect of the reading, which indicates there's a lot of change taking place on the money work front as well. Change is not a bad thing. This is where we build the resources, the connections, prepare and shift our mindsets, and our behaviors to reflect where we're headed. You're still very much in control of the changes, because I see just the two fives in your financial area. So it just feels like you're going to keep growing steadily. So the money, the job, the business outlook is very promising, and it looks to be very lucrative over the long term for you. Lots of stability in it for you if you maintain this course. And there's also a lot of insight and creativity and inspiration coming through this month, as I said, with all of the wands, and you might be challenged in some way. And certainly there's a lot of cards to you expressing yourself and standing up for yourself and that kind of thing. So there might be some level of jealousy or competitiveness that's going on around you, something that you're having to deal with, but you're having to stand your ground. And again, this could be on the job front, applying for a position. A lot of people, that are high numbers applying for the same job, something along that line. Or it could be just more specific and internal, where you're actually in a position that you're trying to move to a um, higher level position. But either way, I feel that you're going to get it. It won't be without a little showing what you're made of energy here. I do feel, if we're talking about jealousy in a relationship, I feel there is a healing in this area, and likely will carry on again for a few months. Those kinds of things don't wrap up rather quickly, but there is some form of a connection reemerging here. So there was that third five, with throat chakra. So again, it's separate from the financial aspects, although by inference, relationships often merge our monies together. So I do feel that the changes you're going through emotionally are not outside your control. I still feel there's something there to build on. So especially when you're followed up by, the victory and the success card again. So again, whatever you're working on in the month of April, I do feel has extreme growth and success, that you're going to be able to really, as I say, it'll really start to manifest or show itself more so in the summer months, I believe. But sixes, a lot of twos and fours, sixes, this kind of thing, all coming through. Cards of balance, temperance cards. So they're bringing in balance. Good news is also on the way for you as well. And that came through on several cards. So where you were once unable to move forward, with this mental conflict and again, other cards of restriction or feeling stuck, I feel that you're making decisions to grow here in the month of April and end this mental conflict or this self-imposed anxiety or guilt or self-doubt. Or whatever the issue is, you're making the necessary adjustments in the areas where you're out of balance. So you're seeing things differently so that you can move forward. I do feel that you're able to take control of your life here. Again, I suspect more so toward the end of April, where that's what the authority is here. I feel that you're taking control over your life, the direction you're headed. Things are becoming more clear. You're really acting with a more structured plan of action, towards some very big changes that are coming over the next few months. So you're really going or growing on a lot of levels. So you're becoming very wise, and you're really seeing opportunities as they arise, and you're finding solutions. So where you were once filled with questions and second guessing yourself, this is where I see you taking more of a secure position, and you're making some sound decisions this month that will advance you on a few levels here: workspace, business, relationships. You just seem to be finding your way to grounding yourself again. And with the Destiny card, again, I do feel it's a passion project for a lot of you. You're very invested in your ideas, and maybe because you want to, maybe there's some kind of perfectionistic aspect to it that has caused the indecision in the earlier parts of the month. But overall, I do feel that this is a real strong, something you're just really strongly connected to. That is a part of your destiny. It's something that you were meant to do. So we've got Lady of Submersibles. This is the steampunk cards here. So the Ace of Submersibles is about committing. It's working through your illusions. It's really preparing the groundwork for the new things that are coming in for you this month. You have some new opportunity ahead for those that are looking for work, and for others, it's an opportunity to take your relationships to another level. But either way, you're seeing things through and you're objective, you're more clear-headed, you're more intentional, and your intellect is sharp as you face the challenges this month and grow the new ideas that are racing in for you this month. They're really, really abundance in on a few levels here. The Empress shows up as well later on. So again, I just feel like you have a lot of energy toward the end of April, where you're more clear-headed. The clouds are clearing here, and you're actually able to move forward with confidence. So some of you may be, with the three of airships, which is really the three of swords in the Rider-Waite deck and so on. But this is where you've got the conflict. This is where you were kind of holding yourself back. This is where you were, not facing up to something. And I do feel that all of that is really, you're dealing with it. You're dealing with that and moving forward. Sorry, I'm just trying to see where we are at here. So we've got the Ace of Submersibles. So again, a lot of aces coming through here. So there's a few things that you're actually able to overcome here. Sorry, the first one was the Lady of Submersibles, and then we've got the Ace. So definitely some new things that are coming your way. I feel a lot of you are working your way up the ladder in your work field or in business. Messenger of Engines is also good news that's coming through here, that follows that new level of opportunity with the Ace of Submersibles. So again, good news, important news about something is definitely coming through. And it could be something that you need to take advantage of to reach this new level, or find an opportunity in another situation. So maybe you hear about something third party or whatever, or through, someone that you know. Either way, there's an important event or situation that you need to be present for or to hear about that's leading to an opportunity for you. And for a lot of you, this is around a dream job, a dream client, a dream passion project, or something that you want to stand out for, shine. And this is really where I feel your talents are going to start to come through here. And that's why it's so significant with all of the wands. But the work that you do is really something that you can take pride in. And although there is a steady amount of effort, that must be employed to pull this off, your slow and steady progress and commitment to get things done will pay off. And I feel for a lot of you, this could be around a large firm here. There's a lot of corporate energy, and it might be a contract with a large company again for some of you. But I really feel that someone is here to show you the ropes as well. Who has more experience than you in some area and is able to guide you through a position with this person has very high standards. This is definitely somebody who represents as an authority in their area, real expertise, does the research, holds himself to high levels of accountability. So there's more than one person. You've got somebody that's guiding you through. You also have somebody else here that, could be for those of you that have applied to a new position and you're having to, develop a stronger skill set, and become more of an expert. But either way, it's something that you're going to shine with. But I do feel that there is somebody that is corporate energy and somebody who's very high standards around you for the month of April. So the whole of this reading, again, really speaks to new beginnings, promising tomorrow, an emotional surrendering so that you can expand. for this month, and that is coming through with the Comet card. So, there's a lot more confidence, real support for this new vision, and you're feeling a real sense of renewal as these old blockages fall away. So, last card, or just about last card out before we get into the financial part of it, is the Horologer. So this is about following the rules. So you're learning the necessary skills to support the work. The Horologer is the timekeeper, so that advances you in increments as the learning, as you do the learning. So somehow you're adding something to old traditions and you're spicing it up. So whatever it is you're doing, it feels like you're taking an old tradition and re-energizing it, refreshing it in some way. You're preserving something old skillfully, and you're somehow transforming something mundane and making it look different, or putting it out in a new way. So some of you could be mentoring young people as well. You're creating some kind of a bridge between the new and the old. So moving on to the Cosmos Tarot. This is actually the more specific to the financial aspect, although it kind of came up in kind of some generalities. It didn't feel like there was a lot of money, as I said, that was coming through for this month, even though there is, the 10 of Cups here, 10 of Pentacles coming through. It just felt like that's a little further out. But to me, the financial aspect of the reading here, with the leading with the 10 of Pentacles, speaks to you focused on areas around your security, your family, your overall happiness. So this month is filled with great ideas, a lot of creativity to expand your business and create passionate, strong connections. Again, there's so much kind of repeats in the cards here. We've got the abundance card with the Empress, could be a Libra energy also coming through. But this is definitely, month of ideas for you. Could be water signs involved here as well with the Prince of Cups, or a younger person that this can also represent as a messenger. So very strong, intuitive month for you, where you're getting your inspiration to explore your emotions in a new way. And that's really going to help you to transform some area of your life, where you're passionate interests lay. And that could be, again, relationships, or it could be passion projects, but it will make the difference in helping you to connect to what it is that you're wanting to do. It'll unblock you and elevate the project. So, your transition is just about complete to this new cycle, because you're finishing up with the nines. And with the 10 of Pentacles so near, you're about to set the course into this new adventure. So again, spring is very strong for this period of, developing discipline and intuitive insights, and, helping you to deal with that residual of your problems that you were trying to find solutions for. You're finishing up something so that you can move into this very near future growth. And this growth is going to be very rapid. So you need to take advantage of the energy and the time that you have to work toward this goal, because energy isn't always there for us to make the most of what we need to get done. So this is going to be a month of energy for you, because you're going through a transition. So you also need to have patience with yourself. You've got the stamina. Be prepared for the opportunity when it presents, so you take advantage of it. You see it at the moment you need to see it, because again, there's a lot of wands, so you're experienced enough to endure the course here. You just need to be patient with yourself. Don't get frustrated. And again, we're moving into the 8 of Wands here. So there's swift energy there as well. Just a lot of rapid movement all around. A lot of drive. So I also had the sense that some of you were dealing with, again, a younger child. Could be on the work front, or it could be, in your family situation. But again, there's some of you may be trying to resolve a conflict this month with a child or a younger person or somebody, again, that you're working with, but there's a feeling of someone being burdened by a lot of those issues, and you're waiting for a solution to come through. And again, Temperance also spoke to that wait out the solution. The Eight of Wands is going to bring about a quick answer here. There's going to be swift movement once you get that inspiration to move forward and see the opportunity. And then again, as I said, everything's just going to open up quickly after that. We also have the Princess of Wands. So again, strong energy around a young person being mentored here for some of you. Definitely a lot of energy, passionate involvement behind a project that you're connected to. Feels like something you're very much going to, that you're connected to, going back here in time. It doesn't feel like something it feels like something you've been working on for a while. We also have the Eight of Cups. So again, I feel that there might have been something that you've lost here, or a feeling, maybe it was a loss of a job, maybe it was a loss of a business, or something didn't quite live up to your expectations here, but I still feel like you're really making progress this month. And again, by summer, I think that you really see the direction of your efforts and some real enthusiasm, for what you're doing. So and again, the Chariot, that's where the decision needs to be made. There's a lot of forward moving action. This can also represent a vehicle or a car, or maybe even some kind of a trip here. There was another card that kind of indicated trip, although I know a lot of us are still in lockdown with other issues globally around the world. But however that relates for you, maybe it's a long road trip or something like that could be coming through here too. But either way, there is a period of waiting here with the Three of Wands for, maybe the solution or the lucky break or the opportunity or whatever, but it's coming. It is coming. So I just feel that you'll see the real movement taking place in April. There will be an opportunity that presents itself in April, but there's going to be, the real growth is going to be further out, but a lot of action is still taking place in the month of April. So again, lot of competitive or jealous energy in this month for you as well. So just to be aware of that. And I do feel that it is causing you some concern with the Nine of Swords, but I mean, it's nothing for you to worry about, because I still feel that you're headed in the right direction, and things will move in your favor, even though, again, there's, you will have to defend yourself. It's not that it'll just fall into your lap. I think that you're going to have to fight for it, or show that, you actually want what you want. So again, jealousy, competitive energy. I don't feel there's any great changes in the finances this month. I feel there's a lot of shared resources in regards to your money. You're defensive around the money, and I don't know if that's because you're getting resistance about how it's being spent. There might have been battles around that, but overall it seems that you have enough support, by month's end to go forward with this new idea. And there's real developments that are going to come out of this in a really short period of time. It's going to happen very quickly. So it's because of your determination and your energy and your enthusiasm and your passion to kind of move things to a new level, or get something out there, or connect to someone and really make a commitment. Just to get something done. It just feels like everyone's getting behind you to make it finally happen. So money seems unchanged for the most part, although I'm not saying you're flat broke or anything like that. It just feels like you're maintaining a status quo. But whatever it is you're working on has such significant connection to you and promise of material reward, that I think you really should keep investing in yourself and in whatever it is that you're trying to build. So again, money seems just maintaining status quo, but the promise of your idea is going to offer some security, or can be generating something for you more so around summer. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Stay safe, keep moving forward, and I will see you in May.